Well, here I am, Travels with Dottie, on another trip to the chiropractor. I'm going twice a week. I've been going since I got here middle of September. Now it's past the middle of October, so I've been doing it for a month. I got to get these tune-ups when I can, when I'm in Pahrump, because I have spinal subluxation in a couple of spots in my spine, and it's due to I think compensation from arthritis in my right hip. If you look at my x-rays, the ball joint in my right hip, when you compare it to the left and the right, you can see the nice thick line of cartilage on the one on the left, and it's non-existent on the right. So what's kept me, when this first came to my attention, the pain was brutal, and it affected a nerve in my leg, and I was on a cane and was having trouble sleeping, certainly in pain most of the time, and it was pretty awful. And I got relief finally from, I did go to a chiropractor and it didn't work, didn't do anything. And I came up to Pahrump and I paid out of pocket for a bunch of physical therapy and deep tissue massage. And the help was minimal. I'm not saying it didn't do any good, but it didn't do much good. And then I thought I'd roll the dice again on a chiropractor, did some research, and found a guy that was fairly new in town, and I went and saw him. And unlike many of the previous chiropractors I had, he did a full set of x-rays before he touched me. And we sat together in his office and we went over the details of the x-ray, and he showed me what he can do to me to alleviate the pain. And I half believed him, because I never really had good luck with, I've been, not only that time I mentioned, but many times in my life, because I've always had back issues, long before the arthritis in the hip. And I've been to many chiropractors and not one has helped me. But David Lewis is the chiropractor here, and I decided, well, I'm just going to do what he recommends and just see if it works. I'm going to just roll the dice because nothing else is working. And I had put the cane up for good within 2 weeks. And within a month, that pain that I'm describing was gone. So, and like the physical therapy person, he also said, look, you're eventually going to have to get a hip replacement. I said, well, I don't get on Medicare with any ability to afford to do that until 2025. And he said, well, I can help you extend the amount of time. And he certainly kept his word. Now, because, as you guys that know me know, I don't live in Pahrump full time. I'm in Pahrump for 2 to 3 months in the spring and 2 to 3 months in the fall. I'm in New Mexico in the summer and Quartzsite in the winter. And one of the first questions I asked him after it worked is like, when I go see another chiropractor, what do I tell him to do? And he said, I don't recommend that you see another chiropractor. He said, the methodology that I use, there's only a couple others chiropractors that I'm aware of that use this technique, and they're both in California. And if you go to a chiropractor that does puts you on the table and does that general adjustment, which is pretty much what I've seen, he doesn't put you on a table and crack your back. He has a highly specialized adjustable table that helps him target specific areas. It's hard to describe, but So what I'm left with, because everything he's told me would happen, did happen, so I've developed a trust with Dr. Lewis. And the other thing that he does that I think is unique is when I go in today, I'll first meet with a nurse practitioner who will do my vital signs, and we'll talk about general medical things and how I'm feeling, and she give all sorts of advice. I mean, a nurse practitioner is an advanced practitioner that can prescribe medications. Now, she doesn't prescribe medications in that environment, but nurse practitioners can, under the direction of a medical doctor. So a nurse practitioner is a senior level nurse. It's as senior as you get. And then I go in to Dr. Lewis, and he does have another practitioner with him now, a second one this year, that he is trained in this technique. So when Dr. Lewis isn't there, I have the other practitioner, and he does it exactly the same way. I don't know why suddenly everything's blurry. I apologize for that. I don't understand. I've changed the lens. So I don't know how, I'll see in editing how long it was looking terrible. Sorry about that. Where was I? Oh, so he does the adjustments, and then you'd think that's it, but no, you go into the physical therapy room, and based on what he's seen that day, he gives them instructions on 3 exercises that the physical therapists walk me through. And there's 2 of them in there, and what I noticed they're doing is one will give instructions, the other one will be standing to the side at a different angle. They're really ensuring that you do these exercises in exactly the right form. It's really pretty remarkable. And so there's 3 separate things that happen in every appointment: the meeting with the nurse practitioner, full set of vital signs, discussion, medical discussion, the adjustment, and then the physical therapy. I'm paying out of pocket for it now. When I get my Medicare next year, it'll pay for it, but right now I'm paying out of pocket. It's $50 a session. That's for all that. I think that's a pretty darn good value. So I'm arriving here, and when I come back in, we won't be driving into the sun, and I'll tell you how this session went and how I feel. I don't feel pain anymore. I can tell you what I do feel that's uncomfortable is stiffness. Stiffness. And trust me, I'll take stiffness all day long versus the pain I used to have. But I still have the stiffness, and certainly things will get pretty uncomfortable by the end of the season in Quartzsite, and I'll be ready to come back like I was very ready to come back at the end of this summer. So I will see you in a few minutes. All right, so I'm back. I feel pretty good. Dr. Lewis was not in today, so I got the other chiropractor that he's trained, and he did really well today. And here's the real funny thing, guys. He's a watcher of Travels with Dottie. He has 2 Irish setters that he was talking about, and he said he really enjoys the channel. That's really great. So I was pretty excited about that. So I did met with a nurse practitioner, and he did the adjustments, and I did 3 exercises. I did 1 exercise that involves standing on 1 foot and raising the opposite arm. That was a new one for me. And you switch back and forth opposite. You do like raise your right arm and your left leg at the same time, and then the opposite. And towards the end of it, I just got totally lost on what side it was on, and both of I must have given a funny look to the therapist. Both therapists, and they both burst out laughing and said, "Okay, you're done." I said, "I'm sorry, I just lost track of what I was doing." You had to be there for it to be funny. So I'm thinking about extending this drive to maybe, do you want to go down to my mail place? No, it's too early. It's 8:38 and they don't open till 9, so I'll end up sitting out in front of there for 10 minutes waiting for them to open. So I'll go another day. Well, and I'll take you with me on the other day. So what else is going on today? So that I did all my YouTube stuff today. It is 8:39. I've uploaded and published my 3 videos. Plus I did I've in the process of uploading another whole video that I shot this morning. Plus I'm recording this one, and it's not even 9 o'clock yet. And I've gone to the chiropractor. I have the rest of the day to do whatever the heck I want to do. That always feels good, to get all your responsibilities done before 9 a.m. It reminds me of that I think it was in the 70s, they had the recruiting commercial for the Army that says, "We do more by 9 a.m. than most people do all day. U.S. Army." So I'm like the U.S. Army. I get it all done before 9 a.m. It does help when like this morning I got up at like 4:45. So it helps when you get up early. It helps tremendously when you get up early. But that isn't, I don't set the alarm. I go to bed when I'm tired, and I wake up when I want to wake up. And that's just, and I think I got this from my dad, because I used to marvel at how early, when he got older, how early he would get up. And I wonder, why is my dad getting up so early? And it turns out he was getting up early because that's when his body told him to wake up. So I do what my body tells me to do. And it tells me usually about 9 or 9:30, it's time to go to bed. And it tells me around 4:30 or 5, it's time to get up. And I'm getting real, I do, because I'm on a diuretic and I'm almost 65, I do have to get up twice a night for you know what. And so I don't sleep 8 through the night ever anymore, but I get back to sleep pretty quickly. I've learned to make my way to the bathroom carefully without turning on any lights, because I think that if you turn a light on, I think, at least for me, it's harder to get back to sleep. But every time, George believes if I'm getting up, it's time for him to be fed. So if you can picture this, there's sort of an elevated table with a pad on it that's where George's food dish is, and George eats there and sometimes just hangs out there on the cushion. It's like a pad that it's on, but that's definitely the eating station for George, and I have to walk right by it to go to the bathroom. And every time I get up, George hops up there and is meowing at me as I go by. And what I used to do is the food's right there. I'd reach up with a handful and I'd feed George like every time I went by, and that's how George got big and overweight. So I don't do it anymore, but it doesn't stop George from thinking every time I get up it's mealtime. But right now I'm very disciplined about George gets one handful in the morning, one handful at night, and the weight's back down and he seems much healthier, which is good. And here we are back at the resort. Resort. I hope you enjoyed the video on Preferred RV Resort. Little interview with the activities person at the breakfast and talking about the unique things about the resort. And I'm a big fan. Big fan. And here we are. And she'll look and recognize me, or if she doesn't recognize you, you have to have your little placard on your dash so she can see that you're legit. And here we are. I'm on row B as in boy, as in oh boy. And I love my spot here. Well, the number one reason I love it is I'm surrounded by my friends. And number two is, you see that building on the left there? And that's right across from my spot. That's the laundry. So I am literally steps away from the laundry. It's just wonderful. And here we are parked. And here we are to end this video. I'm going to end it right here. And I'm going to tell you how much I appreciate you coming along with me. And as I share my kind of day-to-day what I'm doing. Take care, and I'll see you tomorrow.